For 8 years, the dust blew on the southern plains. It came in a yellowish-brown haze from the south and in walls of black from the north. The simplest acts of life, walking, breathing, eating, were no longer simple. I'm WeatherBug meteorologist Rachel Peterson, and I'm describing the 1930s and the Dust Bowl. The Dust Bowl is a term referring to a portion of the United States that experienced extreme drought and strong winds during the worst economic time for this country, also known as the Dirty 30s. The Dust Bowl is a semi-arid region in the plains that usually receives less than 20 inches of rain a year. The region is also prone to extended drought, alternating with unusually rainy years. During the wet years, the soil provides bountiful crops that die during the dry years. The region is also subject to strong winds. It all started after the Civil War, when the Homestead Act and the Transcontinental Railroad, as well as new immigration, drove settlers west into the Great Plains. An unusually wet period led settlers to believe the climate of the Great American Desert had changed, making it suitable for farming. The rain follows the plows, the popular real estate phrase stated. Farmland doubled, cultivation tripled between 1900 and 1930. Farmers overused the land and did not practice techniques to prevent erosion. They left fields bare over the winter and burned the stubble before planting again, stripping the soil of its nutrients. Deep plowing killed the native grasses that covered the prairie lands for centuries. Then the rain stopped in 1931 and the drought set in. The drought conditions caused the topsoil to grow dry. The farmers kept plowing and planting and nothing would grow. The winds whipped across the fields, raising huge clouds of dust into the sky, which prevented what little rain would fall from reaching the ground. These immense dust storms, given names like black blizzards and black rollers, would reduce visibility to a few feet. Children wore dust masks to and from school. Women hung sheets over the windows to attempt to stop the dirt. Farmers watched helpless as their crops blew away. At times, after the wind picked up the dust from the plains, days later the black clouds would reach the East Coast, and the dust would fall like snow in New York and Washington, D.C. Much of the topsoil was deposited in the Atlantic Ocean. In 1932, 14 dust storms were reported in the plains. In 1933, there were 38. By 1934, it was estimated that over 100 million acres of farmland had lost all or most of its topsoil. By April 1935, there had been weeks of dust storms, but the cloud that appeared on the horizon April 14th was the worst. The storm traveled through Dodge, Kansas at 60 miles per hour. The dust turned the day to night that Black Sunday. The next day, a reporter used the term Dust Bowl to refer to the portion of the country that was hit by the black cloud, and the name stuck. In the fall of 1939, the rains came and finally brought an end to the drought, but not before hundreds of thousands of people had to leave their homes, moving west, once again redistributing the U.S. population. Here's something to think about. Were the Dirty 30s a result of man, the weather, or a combination of both?